Hello, and welcome to the LC channel. My name is Vicki, and today we're going to be talking about two sounds, the L sound and the R sound, or L and R. Once again, that's L and R. The first sound that we're going to be going over is the L sound. In words that begin, or the words that begin with the letter L are words like laughter, light, lots, Lisa. This is called the light L sound, and it typically starts at the beginning of words, like Lisa, laughter, lots, lights. This typically is not an issue for non-native speakers. So once again, in order for you to make the L sound, just in case if you're not familiar with it, you simply put the tip of your tongue to the back part of the front teeth and make a sound. Once again, that's really easy for non-native speakers. What ends up being challenging for non-native speakers is it's not the light L sound that begins a word, but rather the dark L sound. The dark L sound occurs always at the end of a particular word, or in the middle of a word if it does not start the syllable. So the dark L is called a dark L because it's informed by the sounds that come before it. And once again, the L is at the end of the word, always, always, always. A dark L is always at the end of the word. And an L is in the middle of, the dark L is in the middle of a word if it comes in the middle of or at the end of a syllable. So this can get a little confusing. What is the difference between a dark L and a light L sound? Let's go over a few sentences so that we can show you. Okay, so let's figure out the difference between the light L and the dark L by using a few sentences. First sentence, there was lots of laughter among the lovely children. So let's take a look at those L sounds in particular. Lots, laughter, and lovely all begin with a light L sound. So the full L sound is being produced. Lots, laughter, lovely. But let's take a look at this L in children. Children. The L sound is muted by the I and the D that come before and after it. Children, children. So even though the L sound is there, it's very, very subtle. That's what makes it a dark L. Let's move on to the next sentence. Now let's take a look at the next sentence. Lisa lit the elongated match in the middle of the hall. Lisa lit the elongated match in the middle of the hall. So Lisa and lit, obviously those are going to be using the light L sounds. They begin the word itself. Lisa lit. But let's take a look at elongated. Even though the L is not the first letter that you see in the word itself, because it begins as a new syllable, then you're going to be using the long L sound. So elongated, elongated. So because the E makes its own syllable sound and the L begins the next syllable, you're going to be using the light L sound, elongated. Now let's take a look at middle and hall. Middle and hall. Notice how the L sound is not going to be a light L sound. It's a dark L sound because it's informed by the D that comes before it in middle and the A sound that comes before it in hall. So middle, middle. Notice how the L sound is very short because it's informed by the D, which is a quick d sound. So middle, middle. And notice how the L is transformed, how it's changed by the A that comes before it. Hall, hall, hall. It's almost as if the tongue doesn't even hit the top of the teeth. Hall, hall. So these two words, middle and hall, are going to be using the dark L sound. Let's take a look at our last sentence. So here we are at our last sentence for knowing the difference between the light L and the dark L sound. I see a ball in the stall. Want to play? I see a ball in the stall. Want to play? So just like the previous sentence where the L was informed by the A sound in hall, so too does the A sound inform the L in ball and stall. I see a ball, 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 stall, stall, stall. Notice how the A sound is informing the way the L is being made. Stall, ball. The same is also true for play, play, play. Because the P sound is a sound that aspirates air very quickly, it's going to inform the way that the L sound is also being produced. Play, play, play. Do you hear the difference between the light L, is the strong L sound, and the dark L sound, which is informed by other sounds that come before or after it? Ball, ball, stall, play, play, play. So I think it will be good for you to practice your dark L and light L sounds when speaking with native English speakers. Now let's move on to the next sound, the R sound, or Now we're going to be moving on to the R sound. The R sound, is actually one of the most difficult sounds for non-native speakers of English. And I think the reason why it is because the position of the tongue is really, really important for producing the R sound correctly. So before we go into how the tongue is supposed to be aligned and how it's supposed to fit within the mouth, I'm going to ask you to just feel your tongue in your mouth. Just put it up to the roof of your mouth. Put it down to the bottom of your mouth. If you can, maybe you can even curl your tongue a little bit. Maybe just a little, all right? What you'll find is that the R sound, the tongue is a really incredible muscle, and the R sound definitely works it out. So let's see if we can get that R in the right position with your tongue. Okay, so what I'm gonna ask for you to do, take your tongue, all right? Make sure that you have it in the middle of your mouth, so it's not touching your front teeth, and there's no part of your tongue touching the back of your mouth, all right? So you have that? Okay, good. So what I'm now going to ask for you to do is widen your tongue as much as you can so that it touches the inside of your top teeth. All right? So it's going to widen a little bit and touch the inside of your top teeth. All right? So it's not touching the top, or it's not touching the front, it's not touching the back, just the sides. Okay? Now what I'm going to ask for you to do is make a sound. Can you do that? The sound is not complete though. The next thing that you need to do is move your lips. So this has to do with both the tongue and the lips. So you've got your tongue in the right position. Okay, good. So now what I'm going to need for you to do is round your lips just a little bit. So you go from Do you feel that difference? So you're moving don't forget the tongue, sides of the teeth, and with a small little circle for your lips. You'll feel that your tongue is getting a workout when making this sound. Okay, so we've got that R sound, right? Still, for many non-native speakers of English, it may be difficult to produce the R sound directly. So why don't we use the L sound that we were just practicing and make it into an R sound? That may be an easier way to help a non-native speaker of English move from the L, which is familiar, to the R, which is not as familiar. So start with the L. Have the tip of your tongue touching the back of your teeth. Okay. Now, take your tongue, move it back. And then have the sides of your tongue touching the sides of your teeth. So move the L from the tip to the R. And then once again, purse your lips. So it may be actually easier for you to start with the L sound because you already are aware of your tongue when you're making that sound, and move it to the back in the middle and stretch it out just a little bit. You may find that helpful as you're practicing working your R sound or sound. Now, let's move on to a few sentences so that we can practice the R sound together. So here's the first sentence for practicing the R sound. Eat all the rice at the restaurant. Once again, that's eat all the rice at the restaurant. Don't forget that the R sound includes not only the position of the tongue, but also the position of your lips. Both of them need to be right in place in order for the R sound to be produced effectively. Rice and restaurant. Let's move on to the next sentence. Here is the next sentence. Ruby red slippers were on her feet. Once again, that's ruby, red. Now the R is at the end of the word. Slippers, were on her feet. So let's go over together one time. Ruby red slippers were on her feet. Now I'm going to say the sentence and please repeat after me for this one, all right? There's a lot of R's in this sentence. It's good to practice. Ruby red slippers were on her feet. Your turn. Okay, great. Very good. Now let's move on to the last sentence where once again there's a lot of R's and we'll be practicing together. Okay, so here is the final sentence for you to practice your R sounds with us. I am really ready to read the recipe book. I'll go over it slowly. I am really ready to read the recipe book. I'm really ready to read the recipe book. I am really ready to read the recipe book. Okay, so I'm going to go over it slowly, the full sentence, and then you'll repeat after me. I am really ready to read the recipe book. You try. Hey, that's great. Now, don't forget to just keep on practicing your R sounds at home and actively listen to native speakers as they are also producing the R sound. Okay, thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you learned a little bit about the L and the R sound, and don't forget to keep on practicing. If you have any suggestions or comments, don't forget to click on the link below. We'd love to hear from you. Once again, it's been my pleasure working with you today. My name is Vicki, and we'll see you next time here at the LC channel.